Learners. My name is Dr. I.O. Oseni. I'm a lecturer from Economics Department at Labis Obanjo University, Agoiwoye. I'm here to teach you Eco 211 Introduction to Microeconomics. Now let's look at the introductory aspect of the course. Introduction to Microeconomy is for learners studying towards acquiring a Bachelor of Science degree. The course is divided into 10 study sections. It will first introduce learners to microeconomic theory, problem of scarce resources, and allocation of resources in products. The study, therefore, deals with supply and demand theory as well as the cobweb theory are introduced, along with the introductory dynamic and consumer behavior. Finally, the learner is introduced to the pricing of production factor and theory of comparative cost. The course guide, therefore, gives you an overview of what Eco 211 is all about, the textbook and other materials to be referenced, what you are expected to know in each study section, and how to work through the course material. Now let us look at study section 1, Introduction. Microeconomics studies the economic actions of individuals and small groups of individuals. These individuals include the household, the firms, and the government. They are called economic agents. It studies how resources are allocated to the production of goods and services and how efficiently they are distributed. From this study section 1, you will be able to explain the meaning of microeconomics, discuss the distinction between microeconomics and macroeconomics. You will also learn the relationship between positive and normative economies. You will as well know the meaning of economic problems of an economy, and as well explain production possibility curve. What is microeconomy? Microeconomy is the study of economic actions of individuals and group of individuals. It studies particular firms, household, individual prices, wages, income, individual industry, and particular commodities. It concerns with the analysis of price determination and allocation of resources to specific uses. The distinction between microeconomics and macroeconomics. By definition, microeconomy is that part of economic theory which studies the behavior of individual units of an economy, while macroeconomy is that part of economic theory which studies the behavior of aggregates of the economy as a whole. Now, looking at the tools of analysis, microeconomics deals with demand and supply, while macroeconomics deals with aggregate demand and aggregate supply. From the objective point of view, microeconomy aims to determine price of commodity or factors of production, while macroeconomy determines income and employment level of the economy. By assumptions, microeconomy assumes that all the macro variables to be constant. That is, it assumes that national income, consumption, savings, and so on are constant, while macroeconomy also assumes that all the micro variables like decisions of households and firms, prices of individual products, and so on and so forth, are constant. Finally, microeconomy is known as price theory, while macroeconomy is known as income and employment theory. Positive and normative economics. Positive economics is an economy that deals with what is or how an economic problem facing a society is actually solved, while the normative economics deals with what ought to be or how an economic problem should be. The differences between positive and normative economics includes: positive economics expresses what is, while normative economy expresses what should be. Positive economy is based on cause and effect of facts. Normative economy is based on ethics. Positive economics deals with actual or realistic situation, while normative economics deals with idealistic situation. Positive economy deals with value judgments, but these value judgments are not given, while normative economics prescribed a given value judgment. Positive economy deals with how an economic problem is solved, while normative economy deals with how an economic problem should be solved. Other differences between positive and normative economies can as well be found in the study materials, so you can make reference to that when you have a problem on the relationship between positive and normative economy. Now moving to economic problems of an economy. What are the economic problems? Economic problem is the problem of choice. Individuals are faced with choice because of limited resources. But the wants and needs of individuals are numerous. As a result of that, individuals face with the problem of choice. There are three fundamental problems in an economic society. These are: what goods to produce and how much to produce. What goods to produce and how much to produce is as a result of limited resources, because an economy has to decide what goods it will produce on the basis of availability of technology, cost of production, cost of supplying, and demand for the commodity. How to produce? The issue of how to produce is a question of choice of techniques of production. There are different techniques of production. Thus, every economy has to choose the most efficient techniques of producing a commodity. It can be capital-intensive techniques. It can as well be labor-intensive techniques. Depends on the kind of the techniques that economy is efficient in. So lastly, for whom to produce? This question deals with how to distribute the product among the various sections of the society. When we produce, the problem of how do we distribute these products come into existence, and that creates the problem of for whom to produce, because individuals' wants are different and the producer has to satisfy the wants of individuals. Now, production possibility curve. It is also called production possibility frontier. Production possibility curve is a curve that shows the various alternative combinations of goods and services that an economy
can produce when the resources are fully and efficiently employed. And this is done based on the production possibility set. While production possibility set is different possible combinations of two goods that can be produced from a given amount of resources and a given level of technology. What are the basic assumptions of production possibility curve? The assumptions of production possibility curves are as follows. Economy produces only two goods. For instance, X and Y, rice and beans. 2. Amount of resources available in an economy are given and are fixed. 3. Resources are not specific. 4. Resources are fully employed. 5. State of technology in an economy is given and remains unchanged. Lastly, resources are efficiently employed. Looking at the PPC or production possibility curve, the curve is concave in nature. It is also downward sloping from left to right. On the concave line, looking at the diagram, we can see that we have point P and P prime showing how concavity the curve is. On that point P and P prime, we have 5 different points on that curve. Point A, point B, point C, point D, point E. Any of these 5 points indicate attainable output combination. If you also look at the inner part of the curve, there is point F. That point F shows that the resources at that point are inefficiently utilized, which implies that the country is unable to efficiently utilize the resources at point F. If you look at another, there is also another point G. That point G is a point that all economies are trying to achieve, and that point is outside the concave curve, and the point is called unattainable output combination. And this point can be achieved as a result of economic growth. And once there is increase or a sustainable increase in the growth of the economy, that point G will be achieved. Thank you for listening. We meet next class.